Besides the feats, I determine who wins. Welcome to Entertainment Fight Night, EFN. Yo, what's up? This is War with Words, and I bring to you EFN, Entertainment Fight Nights. Today's matchup is the Boy Scout, the protector of Metropolis himself, Superman, versus the Green Machine, the Green Scar, Savage Hawk. Now, we're not using cartoons, animated TV shows, animated movies, live action movies, random fan art, the drawing your kid did in class, only the official things they've done in comic books and how it applies to this fight. Now, this first video is going to be the argument for Hawk, and the second one's going to be for Superman. Then we're going to have a third one detailing who actually wins when it's all said and done. Now, let's begin the argument for Hawk. Now, we all know Hawk has like 30 different versions of himself, so I'm going to separate it by Savage and Gray, and then Mindless, and then World War / Indestructible Hawk. I'm doing this to separate the different feats he's done and to make it more coherent so you're not confused when he does one thing here and another thing here and why I keep bringing it up. One's more recent, one's more classic. Usually it's classic versus classic, but I want to bring everything I can into this fight. Now, first off, for Savage Hawk is his Thunderclap. Hawk's Thunderclap has been very useful for him over the years, especially against people such as Hyperion, Hercules, and even Gladiator. Now, not only does it hurt them, but it seems to deafen them, and it even can catch faster opponents such as Quicksilver, who, as we know, definitely moves faster than sound, but has also outpaced lightning and even radio waves before, which would make him faster than light. Now, not to say he's always faster than light, but the point is the Thunderclap can catch faster opponents. Another thing for Savage Hawk is that he can't really be frozen, so that freeze breath won't be all that useful. You can see it here and again and once again, and I believe this one says that the ice can hold something like a mountain, but it doesn't matter to Hawk, he just breaks out. Now, detailing Savage Hawk's strength and his durability, you see him tanking Hyperion's punches, who's essentially Marvel Superman, or at least one of the many Marvel Supermans they have. And here he is clashing with Hyperion, which is the same thing, but you see at the bottom of the scan that when they clash, they basically create a indescribable earthquake of sorts. And if you need any more help with that, here's Hyperion stalemating Gladiator, who we all have known is basically another Marvel Superman who destroys planets with his fist. So yes, Hawk has a durability to fight Superman. Now here, talking about the I-beams, he tanks the heat from what is described as a mini sun, and he takes a full Nova from Human Torch, though I believe the Hawk was a bit amped up in this situation. Now, for more strength, he takes and breaks through what is described as enough force to change a planet's orbit. Here, countering speed, he hits Quicksilver, who I've described how fast he is before. And here, he takes a blast from Galactus, which I'm just going to assume is more powerful than Superman's heat vision, because we all know Galactus is some galaxy-busting, solar system-destroying planet eater, and I'm pretty sure no one would argue that Superman can beat Galactus. Now here's his healing factor, where he gets a sword to the chest, rips it out, and he's pretty much healed as soon as the sword leaves. And even as Greyhawk, he heals gaping wounds in his chest, I believe given to him from Wolverine, and that's a much weaker version of Hawk. Also as Greyhawk, you show his Thunderclap working on Wolverine, who has acute hearing just like Superman has super senses, except Superman's hearing is much better. Wolverine says that his Thunderclap is almost lethal to him, so just imagine what it can do to Superman. Now for Mindless Hawk, he has tons of different feats he's done. He's taken on Thor and Hercules and all these other powerhouses at the same time. But the one I really want to show is where he takes Gladiator's I-beams and essentially beats Gladiator to the ground. And as we already said before, Gladiator is essentially Marvel Superman. Now, I didn't mention Professor Hawk because he only has this one feat I want to show for his healing factor, where he heals a brainstem injury nearly instantly. Now, that's not really relevant to this fight unless, of course, Superman fans like to claim he can lobotomize people with his heat vision, as he did to Manchester Black. Now, for World War Hawk, first look at this shockwave that he made when he clashed with Iron Man in his Hulkbuster suit. Now, why I bring this up? Because it shatters the windows in a few buildings, looks like, down the block, which is very comparable to what Doomsday and Superman's punches were doing to each other. It doesn't mean they're the same force, but it just gives you something to look at and something to compare it to. Now here is World War Hulk pushing two tectonic plates back together. Now that's pretty much planetary level strength, giving him at least the strength level needed to hurt Superman with his punches. Here he goes blow to blow with Sentry, who is another one of the Marvel type Supermans, and except for most people would say he's actually stronger, at least with his energy. Here, Red Hulk hits him with enough power to make a nuclear cloud, and yet he takes it as if a fly landed on his face. Here is a big one. Red She-Hulk is here, and he essentially clashes with her, and the resounding shockwave blows up a planet. That is insane. Like, Superman, most people do not blow up planets with the shockwave from their punches, but World War Hulk does, giving him a distinct advantage over anyone who's not a specific planet buster. Here, for more heat tanking, he tanks Storm's lightning, which can be hotter than the sun, as well as Human Torch's Nova, like it's nothing. Both of these should be hotter than the sun, and thus hotter, or at least as hot as Superman's eye beams, and they do nothing. Now here, he tanks Apollo's heat, and we know Apollo is a sun god, so again, the sun's heat does not seem to do much to Hulk. Now we're going to go to Indestructible Hulk, the more current version, and even detailing some of his speed. See here, he moves in a blur, as if moving at super speeds, kind of like a Flash or Quicksilver. Here he tanks some of Hyperion's beams in another fight they have, very similar to Superman's. For defense against the freeze breath, he goes through an absolute zero fountain and can apparently move, and it does not seem to affect him much. For more strength and durability, he seems to be alive and almost overpowering the weight of a supernova being dropped on him. So, I mean, if he can overpower the weight of a supernova, you'll see later that a supernova can KO Superman, and it's essentially an exploding star, then I don't really see Superman having much of a chance against Indestructible or World War Hulk. But that's just my analysis.